Hey, good people. I am out on another walk. And I think I have come to the conclusion of my work for now with not my will, your will be done. Let's recap. Not my will, your will be done is referring to who is directing power, thought, actions, feelings. Is it me, my will, me directing it, or is it God, the all-knowing, everywhere present, all-powerful Spirit of God? Well, when we say, not my will, your will be done, what we're basically doing is asking, God, you direct me. You make decisions for me. You tell me where to go. You guide me. You take the wheel, as it used to say. Remember that back in the day, you used to say, Jesus, take the wheel? Take the wheel. Because I don't want my limited thinking, my limited knowledge, my limited view of my power to be the one that is trying to navigate me through this situation or navigate me to my desired good. So I want to turn that over to God. Not my will, your will be done. Working with that, the thing that I realized is that I had to grapple with, do I trust turning things over to God, to let God direct and guide me? Like to just give it up? And the answer was, sometimes it depends. Because I realized I had this belief that God would put you through hardship or pain, or you had to suffer to get your good sometimes. Like sometimes in order to get your good, you had to go through some things. Like you had to earn it. And so that made me a little hesitant to truly give it over to God. And so I had to work with that. And I came to the conclusion that God's nature is good. And if God's nature is good, that is all that God can produce. All that God can produce is good. And so if I know that, and if I recognize that in places in my life that is true, then that means that I can rely on the one. I can tell the truth to myself when those false error beliefs come up, that God thinks that you need to suffer on your way to your good. Then I had to tell the truth to myself that God only wants good for me. That's what the second thing. Now, here is the final thing that I came to learn. That I already have proof. I already have proof that God does not put obstacles in the way of your good. I already have proof of that. And I didn't even realize it. But this is what happened when you continue to work on something. You work, you dig, you work, you dig, and things come up. First thing that came up was that error belief. It came up and said, deal with me. Deal with me. And I dealt with it. And now what's coming up is proof. Here's the proof. I'm going to tell you a story because I've had proof all this time, didn't even realize it. So we're going to go back to 2018, 2019. I was working a job. It was a good job. I was traveling all over the world, meeting all sorts of people, getting to learn different cultures. I was able to travel business class, stay in like all these wonderful fancy hotels. Life was good. But I was not happy in that job, despite those perks. I felt like I was not using the full weight of the gifts, skills, capabilities that I have to offer. And also, to make things even more tricky, was me and my manager did not see eye to eye. And so I remember during that time thinking that while this is a lot of work, it's not a lot of effort. And I really am getting paid a lot of money for not a lot of effort. And I remember thinking that a lot, like multiple times a month at least. Not every week, but multiple times that thought would come to me. Wow, you're making an awful lot of money for a little bit of effort. Fast forward to 2019, and I get a meeting invite to this meeting that just mysteriously showed up on my calendar. And I go to the meeting, and there are a group of us in this meeting, and we are told our positions have been now deemed redundant. So we were all being laid off. No more worry about making too much money for a little bit of effort. Now, don't go there. Don't go there and say that God did that to me to prove to me or to teach me a lesson about being grateful for what I have. Because that is not what happened. What happened is divine law actually was put into action. God works as divine law. There's no respecter of person. It's the same for everybody and everything. Just like gravity. No matter what it is I throw up in the air, it's gonna come down, no matter what it is. I could throw grass, I could throw a boulder, I could throw me, and we're all gonna come back down. And that's how divine law works. And the divine law that I put into action was thoughts and mind produce after their own kind. The thought and the feeling I kept repeating over and over again, like it was a prayer, was that I did not deserve this money. I do not deserve this money. And I put into action for my life to begin to conspire to say, she didn't deserve this money. Let's make sure she does not have this money because she does not want it. Right? So, but here's where God showed up in a way that lets me know that I don't have to suffer to get to my good, because my good was still available to me. So after the shock of being laid off, I was still early in learning this truth, learning about divine law, learning about, this flavor of Christianity. And my first thought was, okay, first thing you got to do is get your expenses and start cutting the fat. You need to start closing down those Netflix subscriptions and all of those things. And a voice in my head, spirit said, nope, don't do that. Don't eliminate any of your spending. Keep it exactly as it is. So I did. I surrendered. I followed. The next thing that happened was I was listening to a podcast called Truth Transforms with Reverend Galen McDowell, which you can catch anywhere you get podcasts. I suggest you check it out. But on this podcast, I don't know if I was going through the archives or if he was actually doing it then, but he was doing a series on prosperity. And it was on one of Edwin Gaines' books on the secrets to prosperity or the keys to prosperity or something like that. And so Spirit tapped me on the shoulder and was like, you should get that book. So I ordered that book and I would listen to it every day, multiple times a day, when I would go and take my dog for a walk. And during the listening to that book, the book was about tithing, and it was about the law of give and receive, and it was also about the law of release, how you have to release something in order to be able to receive something. And in reading that book, what came to me that I needed to do was to tithe. And I was like, tithe? I don't know where my next income stream is coming from, but you want me to tithe. Not just give, you want me to tithe. 10% of my income, which was, there was a clock running on my income. You want me to tithe? Okay. I was at a point where I was listening and I was following. So I tithe. Now, the thing that you need to remember is during the layoff, my company gives you 2 months that you can stay on the payroll. You have 2 months to find another job before you're completely kicked off the payroll. When you're kicked off the payroll, you lose your tenure and you lose all those stock awards that you earned through your performance reviews for the years that you had been at Microsoft. Well, long story short, I was able to get rehired at the company that laid me off. I was hired into a job where I was able to use the fullness of my skills, capabilities, and gifts. I ended up with a leadership team that was empowering and was people-centric and was just a wonderful culture. I was set up for success where I was able to move into a role that I had been wanting, which was to be a manager so that I could positively impact the lives of others. I didn't lose one thing except for the job that I needed to let go of in order to step into the good that was waiting for me. I did not have to suffer. I did not have any hardship. God answered my prayers in a way where all I experienced was good. The people that were brought into my life during that time, good. The experiences I had during that time, good. The result, good. So now when that thought comes up, when I'm at a not my will, your will be done, I can remember this experience. When that fear, can you trust it? I can remember when I did trust it and how I lost nothing. I lost nothing. So, not my will, your will? Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't imagine what my life would have looked like if I would have followed my will. I was scared. I was confused. I was turned upside down. My identity was thrown apart. Not my will. God's will be done. So that's how we'll conclude this series, letting you know that I'm not just telling you something out of theory. I'm not just telling you something that I read in a book. I am sharing something that I actually experienced. And that's why we do this work together, because I don't even want you to take what I experienced and say, oh, if she experienced it, it's true. I want you to have your own experience, because then you will know it's true for you, because that's what's important. That is true for you. So come to the Radiance Collective. This is the work that we do. This is the way we work with the light. This is how we make sure that we are vessels and channels for light, so that as we better ourselves, we better the world. So the Radiance Collective is a part of Divine Potential Unleashed. We meet every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific. Go to Divine Potential Unleashed and subscribe and hit the notification so you know when we are live. And if you can't make it live, check out one of the recordings. A meditation, an activation is always there for you. All right. Have a glorious, glorious day, and we'll see you next time.